And the research is about this. In this day and age, what creates allegiance to leadership? What is it that leaders do that make people want to help, want to serve, want to accomplish the leadership agenda? What is it? Turns out there's 4 things. And they fit the acronym REAL. What people need is trust in order to give commitment. And that's what followers do. Give commitment. And what generates trust is to be reliable and to be ethical. And what creates commitment is when leaders are authentic and, yes, like Herb Kelleher, loving. So what does it mean to be reliable? When you're reliable, you clearly answer the question, what are you trying to accomplish? Every leader gives an implicit promise. Remember Kim? We're driving to the airport. She says, I want to quit. And I said, Kim, gosh, you're in such a great position. What would you do? What is your dream? What do you want to do? She said, oh, I'm embarrassed to tell you. No, come on, Kim. No, it's too goofy. Kim, what do you want to do? Well, I want to change the world. Well, great. So how would you do it? You mean if I could do anything? Yeah, well, I'd stay with my company and I would, gosh, we're training all these kids. A lot of these kids were left behind, college dropouts, high school dropouts who get GEDs, and they have no future. And if they join our company and they go through our education, they're on their way to a middle-class lifestyle. You know, some of our graduates make 50, 60, even 100,000 a year within 5 to 7 years. I didn't know this, but being a master technician on a Lexus or a Jaguar, you make some serious dinero. In fact, some of these kids are 27 years old. She said, I just feel so good about what we do. She said, I like to be the number one company as far as a great place to work. I'd like our employees just to sing our praises, just to be so thrilled that they want our kids to work for us. That's what I'd like. I'd like to revolutionize how we do post-secondary education for kids who aren't college bound. I'd like to become famous for that. So I'm listening to her. Gosh, Kim, why don't you do that? Oh, they want to go public. I said, all right. Here's what people want from a leader. They want to know what your promise is, Kim. You just given me a whole way of thinking about your organization, about your job. What I want you to do is turn that into a speech. And I want you to talk to the top 10% of the people in your organization. So I want you to give that speech. Tell people your dream and see what they do. 2 weeks later, she had a speech. She had props. Their company was on Fortune magazine in the year 2013. It was the number one place to work in America. She had a whole agenda, a whole manifesto about this company would change the world in the way that she was talking about. So everybody came in for this leadership conference, including members of the board of directors. She was scared and nervous. She gave this speech. Before the speech, I just said, Kim, make a promise. Make it specific. See what happens. Well, after the speech, standing ovation, tears, cheers. Even the stony hearts of those board members were melted by the heat of her passion. She's the CEO of that company. They went public. Their stock has just gone up like a hockey stick chart. Because she's delivering on the promise. All of us make promises, whether we're leaders or not. The promises are the beliefs and expectations that we create in others about what we say and what we do. Now, for a leader, it's critical for those promises to be explicit. What will I do? What will the resources of the company and the organization be focused on? That's what people want to know. They have to be explicit and they have to be kept. Or you will have no trust. Now, what Kim understood intuitively is that promises without priorities are empty because you have all these competing priorities. So, in a corporate environment, you've got shareholders and employees, shareholders and customers. In the home environment, you've got yourself, your spouse, your kids. You've got all these competing priorities. And all you end up doing your whole life is negotiating promises. negotiating ways not to make it so bad they don't get anything they want. Unless you've got purpose. You see, unless there is purpose that people can buy into, the priorities will rip you apart. So the priorities of this organization turn out to be universal priorities for any leader. It's purpose, people, profit, in that order. So, here's Kim. She's going out on the road show to take her company public. She's going to be talking to all these snarling, money-sucking, brain-dead Wall Street analysts, people in love with their computer programs, hearts of stone. They want to know one thing. What's your money-making machine? What's your business model? How's it going to work? How are you going to beat the competition? What's your market share going to be? What's your growth rate? Blah, 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 blah. And here's Kim. She turns all that over basically to the CFO, all the financial strategy. And in front of this kind of audience, she tells her story of how they're trying to change the world. And we really want you to invest in this company if you understand our purpose is first, our people are second, and the profit is the outcome. The profit is the means. And if you like that story, we really want you to be owners in the company. Do you know how much courage? It's one thing for me to say that in a situation like this. But if you're trying to take the company public and you've got lots of shareholders that are going to have big paydays if you do well, the company's underlying financial strength was so good, their business model was so powerful, that they all nodded their head and they said, well, this is a nice little idealistic story.